and how are you? My goodness, it's funny because it's Terrific Tuesday, and who can't go wrong with a Terrific Tuesday? So give me 1 second. Let me send out my links. Let me fix that a little bit. Go down. Scoot up. Get down. Scoot up. All right. My goodness. Let me lower this down. I'll get started in a second. My goodness. Okay. And there I am. It is weird seeing myself when it comes to like the camera. Like whenever I look at myself in the camera. It's like, you're so vain. You probably think the song is about you, don't you? No. Let me send this out. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that your Monday didn't suck. Now it's Terrific Tuesday, and I hope it wasn't a pain in the butt. No, I said, what? Oh, and then it's Wonderful Wednesday. And then, hold on. I think it's Wonderful Wednesday. Oh, boy. All right, now. It's time for the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. Dun 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 dun. And I think that is it. Hold on. Do 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 do. And let me send it to my father. Boom. Done. Hi, hello, how are you? Are you having a superly duperly awesomely amazingly fabulously superly greatly phenomenally spectacular week and a terrific Tuesday? And if not, then why not? Like, you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to have the most terrific, most awesome, most fantastic freaking week ever. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how you can have all of the feelings in the world that you go, I'm going to have a good day. And then, hello. And someone comes along and, hi, Mr. Leopard Gaming TV. Someone comes along and they're like, they have other plans for your happiness. And it's funny too. It is really actually funny because whenever you have like your own plans that you have already predetermined, today is going to be a good day. And then someone comes over and it's like a car into like a building and just, it's like, why the fuck did you do that? You can't tell me I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. And you get to choose. And in your life, you get to choose if you're going to have a good day. And you also get to choose if you're going to be a jerk. And you get to choose if you're not going to be a jerk. And all of these like decisions are yours. Like you get to choose. And it's crazy too, because they're not always that apparent. Your choice and your like the things that you get to choose. Can I say Gab? I just did. Yes, I can say Gab. And that's the crazy part about Terrific Tuesday, because why not? Now, you can say Gab, I can say Gab, but here, Mr. Leopard Gaming TV, what I really want to know, what are you grateful, thankful, or happy for? And what is your favorite color? Blue, red, or green? Can I say newsers? What are you happy, thankful, grateful for? What are you grateful, thankful, happy for? And which color is your favorite? Red, blue, or green? Yeah? Okay, cool. What are you grateful, thankful, or happy for? And what color? That's like my waiting music. Red, wonderful. What are you grateful, thankful, or happy for? Tell me. I'd love to know. I'm here for it, baby. Actually, I need to put your family. Okay. Here we are. My family. ... And then new. Boom. There you are. You are now in my Grateful, Thankful, Happy Wall book. This is actually going to be a book. Really a magazine, but still, you are now there. And I think Mr. Leopard Gaming TV, left. I think he's gone. Why'd you leave? You didn't even tell me your favorite color, and you didn't tell me what you're grateful, thankful, or happy for, which broke my heart, Mr. Leopard Gaming TV. What, you think I was just going to ask you and not write it down on my wonderful freaking wall? And yes, if you're wondering, that is wrapping paper. Thank God. Okay, cool. It's funny, if I do my intros like that every time, then I have, it will go from 20 viewers to 2 or 3 and 4. And I like those a lot more than I like the 20 or 30 viewers, because the 20 or 30 viewers, it's like I'm a show horse, and I don't want to be a show horse. Yes, I talk, but also you have to be mindful that that's just who I am. Can I say bag? Is today just a word of saying bags? Okay, here we go. Apple, bag, cat, dog, elephant, fish. Why do you want me to say bag? Oh, you're a fish master. Cat in the bag? Cat out of the bag? The cat was never in the bag? My goodness. What is this channel about? I don't know. I really, that's the best part. I couldn't tell you. Especially Terrific Tuesday. I haven't figured that one out. Actually, it's funny. Southern accent bag. Okay, right? Southern accent bag. All down there. I'll tell you something. You're going to tell me something. He'll be absolute fucking car. He'll be like, wow, hell, so, whoa. Woohoo! So, geez, oh, man. Oh, going down in the bayou. Huh? Or are we going Southern Austin? How southern do you want to go? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días. Muy bien. Or is that one of those No, back to answer you, ZIR. Couldn't tell you. I really don't even know. It's my own channel, and I don't even know. I just do weird shit, and I'm just me. I think it's a way to channel out that weird, meanness, and what I've kind of designed Terrific Tuesday to be about is more of what works and what doesn't work. So conversations, camera angles, lighting, backgrounds, topics. And because I wanna. Because I want to vibe. It's funny, too. Because a lot of the times, we actually find ourselves in predicaments that we end up doing things that we don't even want to do because it appeases other people. And then whenever we do things that other people want us to do, but we don't necessarily want to do, then a lot of the times, we end up becoming miserable. And we get stuck doing things that we don't want to do to continue on living a life that we don't want to live, because we have to do the things that we don't want to do. And then we have to say, well, they're necessary, but they're not really necessary, because you didn't even give yourself a chance to find the things that were necessary to do the things that you wanted to do to live the life that you wanted to live. So now you're living this whole life that other people just want you to live, but you're not even happy. And you're slowly dying inside. It's an absolute trip. And then it's we do this to ourselves. We are our own saint, and we are our own sinner. We are our own enemy, and we're our own friend. And we get to choose. But nobody ever tells you that. Going through school, it's they condition you with all these small little micro programming. And at a base level, it seems freaking normal. Am I a cult leader? No, I'm not a cult leader. In one of my mobile game apps, I might be, but no. I'm sorry if I'm sounding cultish, but it's like, I didn't kill nobody. I just told them to get done what I needed to get done, and they did it. Did you miss something? No. No, you didn't miss anything, William. Other than me talking about, the programming of school. Would you like me to digress? And apparently I'm coming off as a cult leader. Zohar! If I was a cult leader, this would be my call sign. Hee-ho, 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 hee-ho. Not like that, not like that, but... Ah! And then the same person asked if I was a cult leader, asked what my channel was about. William, what is my channel about? Because I don't know. I really don't know. I found myself in the times of trouble. Mother Mary came to me and she said, Rudolph! I was like, whoa, oh, well, we went straight to first base, man. You didn't even take me out to coffee. It really broke my heart and just really threw the perspective out there. Your channel was in science experiment. Now it's become a hub for mental health. Has it, though? Am I the mental health, William? William, I'm the mental health. It's become a channel over my mental health. My mental health or for my mental health? I think we're still on the science experimental. And there for a second, I look like the Ace Ventura. Alrighty then. Oh, I appreciate you, William. You are a wonderful soul. No, ZIR, I'm just a weird dude that's just making it through life, and some nights on Terrific Tuesday I feel like being a little goofy, and the other nights I apparently feel like being a cult leader, and you've got to be a 50-50. Sometimes you'll say, you wake up in the morning, you'll say, I'm going to be a cult leader, and see yourself right, and then you'll wake up in the morning, you'll say, all right, done with that shit, I'll be on my way, you can't bog me down with all your shit, it'll be crazy, Sometimes I look into myself in the mirror and I say, why are you being stupid? And you'll be very surprised that I look in the mirror and the mirror looks at me and says, are you weird? Are you weird or am I weird? Because I really don't know anymore. You're looking at it and you say, love her in. It doesn't even make sense. And then it's like absolutely crazy because it's like going left and going right. And it's like you just can't take your eyes off it. Because it's like a burning train wreck. I just saw it. And there's another train. It's on train. It's on train. And then your friend says, so what the hell happened to you? And why do you say like, you're like, well, I was attending a funeral of a train and it was just absolutely going bonkers and it's going exploding. And it was crazy because I told you and I was pretty sure that the madman that was running the show, he's absolutely lost it. But somehow he's still on air. They didn't cut him off. It'd be absolutely bonkers. Hey man, that's crazy. We interrupt this program to bring you the Terrific Tuesday show, starring Terrific Tuesday with your host, Jeremiah. Couldn't tell you what the hell happens on Terrific Tuesday, but I'm here, and I'm weird. Wow, actually my hair, like that, doesn't want to seem to go down now. So, we're just gonna rock it. But, anyways... You caught me off guard. Bonkers. Okay. So, no, what happens is we go to these schools, right? And we start school, and they go into this, like, micro-programming that they slowly start, like, shaping your reality and your perspective towards a certain narrative. And it's so subtle, but it makes sense. And that's the crazy part. You start with pre-K, maybe. Maybe you just go into kindergarten, and then you're really kind of lost because then you have like half the class that went to pre-K, and they know some shit. Like, they know some shit because they spent the last year actually learning shit. And then the most that you did, because you didn't go to pre-K, is that you learned like new swear words from your uncle that was fixing your car or something. I don't know. And then you get into school, and then they have like this like social programming, and it's so subtle. They don't ever tell you. Nobody ever tells you. So then here you are. You go from kindergarten and the first grade and the second grade and the third grade. And each time this level of information that's shared with you and all this like like really good information that you need to know. So like your math and reading and like a PE, so your physical exercise, and there's a lot of like information that is absolutely necessary. But then there's like these small opinions that kind of get interlaced within the education system. And this isn't just like a state by state or country by country. This is like overall, like from everyone I've ever talked to, which I have talked to a lot of freaking people. And by the time you're out of school, you get to choose. Do you want to voluntarily sign back up for school and get a degree? Or do you want to go into work because you have to make money? And then when you make money, that money has to support you and your family and your household or whatever your lifestyle looks like. And what's really funny is you can actually survive on a lot less. And yet, here we are. Hold on, I gotta... you can survive on a lot less, and yet the rest of society has already been kind of like that social conditioned, has like these assumptions of things that you need to acquire to be happy. But happiness is an individual perspective and perception type of thing. My happiness and what makes me happy isn't what's necessarily going to make you happy, which is an absolutely correlation between, like, I assume that you enjoy the things that I enjoy. And then whenever I find out that you don't enjoy the things that I enjoy, then I find you a little bit off-putting, or maybe I try to like educate you, but you really don't need education because you've already gotten like that same social conditioning of going, well, this is what I like though, and I don't like XYZ. Still with me? Can you feel me? Awesome. I'm going somewhere here, okay? Then you get into like this type of employment, right? And it could be mental health, it could be hospitality, it could be food, it could be a travel agent, it could be a phlebotomist, it could be a doctor, it could be nursing, it doesn't matter. And then you assume that role. You become like what you work, where you work, when you work. And so when I say when you work, if you're a night auditor at a hotel, then your lifestyle becomes really revolved around the times that you get to go to sleep and the times that you wake up and you have to go to work. And that goes for nurses and doctors. You can be a morning person or a night person. And there's certain social groups to which in our society we all fit together. I chose to go to work at 9 o'clock to 6, 5 o'clock, and I see the same people driving every day, and they work in the similar area. I couldn't tell you their name if I wanted to. You could put a gun to my head and be like, what's her name? And I'd be like, Julie? How wrong? It was Brenda. It's like, oh, I didn't know. But I know her. Like, I know her car, and I know what she looks like, and just based on a outward perspective view, right? And I know that, like, at 6 o'clock, there's Steve in a truck. Well, I don't know his name's Steve, but I know that there's, we have like this social conditioning, and we have all these preferences that we all like subtly enjoy. And then whenever people start affecting those things that we subtly enjoy, we start getting anxious and we start getting upset. And well, that's not what was in my program. Well, what was in your program? You're kind of going off of script. I don't like that when you're going off of script, because that's not predictable. And if it's not predictable, that makes me a little nervous because I can't predict what you're about to do. And that absolutely just makes me feel just uneasy. So could you just stick to the script? Which brings us to the next point, which I think the Hindus and the people in India and Eastern philosophy probably have right more than anyone, is that life is a play or life is a show. And this starts looking like it's some type of computer program. And I don't stop there, okay? You go from your kindergarten, you go to your first grade, you go through all of this, right? And then you flip, or you go forward, and you go into your work life, and it's the same thing. Like middle school or elementary school, middle school, high school, outside of high school, college, it never ended. You always have your popular cliques, you have your unpopular cliques, you have your smart cliques, you have your dumb cliques, you have the I just want to be left alone cliques, you have the weird group cliques. Like, it never fucking ends. And then you go to your work and it never ends. You get sucked into this vortex of like siloed information that you have a confirmation bias. And as long as your confirmation bias is confirming that what you believe is true and where you're at is true and what you're doing is true, you're happy. But if someone walks in and they tell you you're wrong, they could be stupid, they could be intelligent, and they tell you you're wrong and you feel uncomfortable, it's like, game on, I've been waiting for this. And we have these defense mechanisms. Well, where the hell did we learn the defense mechanisms? And it actually goes back to our social conditioning, back to when we were in school. Like these little clicks, okay? I'm going somewhere, all right? Going back to the play. This is my play. This is the Jeremiah play. And this is the William play. And this is the Steve play. And this is the XYZ. Whatever your name is, put your name there and put play or movie. You could have a happy movie. You could have a sad movie. You could have an absolutely rom-com. You could have a horror movie. You could have an absolutely depressing movie. But if you really want one of those, just watch Hachi, and I promise you, you'll cry and you'll decide, I don't want that. Okay? The dog dies in the end. The owner dies first. It's okay. Anyways, spoiler alerts. Anyways, it's your fucking movie. You get to choose. Well, I have my parents that decide that. No, your parents strongly encourage, and if you do not take up the strongly encouraged narrative, then, well, consequences happen because that's what happens in everybody else's movie. I can't just go around and defecate on someone's car because they're very liable to beat the crap out of me, pun intended, or call the police, and then I get arrested for defecating on someone's car. See, there's consequences to every single thing, but there's also blessings and good happenings that happen. But all of that was your choice. The people that you spend your time around, that's another consequence or blessing. It's a perk of the job, or it's an absolute cursing. Where you spend your time, who you spend your time with, what you spend your time talking about with the people that you spend your time and with who. All of this is your choice. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, I'm not very happy with my choices. Then change them. You can change them at any freaking point. But then again, that would consider effort and consistency and dedication. If you don't like where you're at in life, that's on you. I love you to death and I'll love you till the end of time, but that's on you. Okay, well, where the hell do I start? Now. Stop doing the things you know that are not very beneficial for you. But, well, that would be just way too hard, wouldn't it? So would working out. You're talking to a 241-pound man. Like, I'm working on it. I used to weigh 269. Guess what? I had to stop eating sweets and drinking Red Bull and try to take care of myself. You wake up every day and you say, nope, I'm not doing that. Nope, I'm not doing that. You know what's crazy is you have people that are addicted to smoking, people that are addicted to drinking, people that are addicted to sex or to cocaine or to meth. And a lot of that, yes, absolutely, there's part of your brain that is absolutely disease-ridden that says, you know, ooh, I like that. And it really starts firing those dopamine receptors that make you feel other than how you were feeling beforehand. But that still fundamentally is a choice. You can wake up and say, I'm not smoking today. I'd love to smoke today, but I'm not going to because it's not very beneficial to what my advantageous goals are. Or I'm not going to drink because I want to see my kids. Or I'm not going to do meth because I really don't want open pores on my face. And I really don't want to spend all of my time and my money around shady situations and people and then lose control of my ambitions and find myself in weird predicamental places. I'm not going to have sex with everyone on the street because I really don't want an STD. And if you have a problem with that, hopefully in the future you'll go talk to William. Hi, William. But ultimately, every choice that you make is on you. I'm not happy. That's on you. I'm sorry. Nobody else has the freaking balls to tell you it's on you. Where you're at in life is on you. Not me, not William, not Steve, and not Brenda. which Steve and Brenda are the ones that I proverbially just put in. Their cars look like a Brenda car and their truck looks like a Steve car, okay? But what I'm getting at is everything that you get to choose is fundamentally on you. Isn't that beautiful? Because that also has an upswing to it. That also has a benefit because you're not stuck wherever the hell you're at right now. Did you know that? Wherever the hell you are right now. In an abusive relationship, well, it's easier to say just get out. I never said just get out. But I do have to ask you the question. Are you happy? Well, no. I just don't know what the hell to do. When you wake up in the morning, you say, well, what would make me happy? And you'll probably have repercussions for thinking a different way or talking a different way. But I promise you, there are some really great people and really great organizations that sooner or later you'll go into a bathroom if you're in a really bad abusive relationship, and you'll go into one of the quick trip bathrooms and you'll say, in abusive relationships, text this number. And it's like, that's really terrifying to send that because you don't know what the next step looks like. But you'll spend enough time there that you'll go, I cannot do this anymore. It is toxic, it is abusive, it is just absolutely downright wrong, and I can't. And you get to the point and say, yeah, I can't. Same thing with smoking, same thing with drinking, same thing with doing meth or having a sex addiction. Same thing, which is where I actually started coming up on this conversation, with anger. I'm an anger management specialist. I can promise you, there's nothing I can do to change how stupid I feel you might be, which a lot of the times, that's where anger stems from. Why are you being so stupid? If you would have just not gotten involved and let me do my XYZ thing and you didn't just interfere, then things would have been happy-go-lucky. But that's not true now, is it? Because you can blame everyone else but yourself. If I get angry at you, that is on me. Self-control. Maybe you're not thinking about what you did or your actions and how they made me feel. Maybe it's not about me to you. But it's about me to me, as much as it is about you to you, which is absolutely one of those conundrums. So if we stopped going around going, well, you did this intentionally to hurt me, I really doubt that people wake up in the morning going, you know what? How can I screw over Jeremiah today? How can I screw over William today? It's like, nobody wakes up, and if they do, you have a much bigger problem on your hands rather than someone just thinking of you instantly as soon as they wake up. That's a little creepy, by the way. Like, oh, bigger problem. Okay, well, what does this all accumulate to? What does this all mean? Your life is in your hands. It's funny, you know that old song, I've got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. It's like, but you also have your whole world in your hands. Every decision, every choice, every mistake, and you are going to make mistakes, are right there. Okay, Jeremiah, that's I hear you, but how do you skip on to the next? What do you do to go on to the next? How do I get out of this rut that I found myself in? You wake up. You wake up and you say, hey, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm moving on, my ship has sailed. The day is done, it's a new day. And I'm choosing happiness. I'm choosing happiness, and I'm not going to get involved in your drama. That involves politics, that involves religion, that involves in family politics and family religion, family preferences, social preferences. Did you know that in high school, specifically high school, people have what they call social credit? Now, when you go to football players and cheerleaders in high school, they have social credit. Now, the social credit is how much credibility does that individual get from just overall their peers. Now, that doesn't actually go away whenever you go into to college or you go into your everyday work. It changes. It goes back to a base level. But this social credit is actually measured mainly based on someone's charisma, someone's knowledge, someone's confidence, which is a very big part, is the confidence, and also a few other factors that kind of go into place. You look at these politicians, and they only have all of this social credit because we have all just unanimously said, okay, I'm giving you this credit, which in a lot of the terms comes from the systematic happenings of voting, which is funny because then we're more likely to actually get into an argument of who voted for who and if the voters were right. And well, you didn't vote for who I wanted to vote for and I didn't vote for who you wanted to vote for, so I hate you, which is stupid because like that's what you're going to base our friendship on. That was not a friend. You are not a friend if you have to base who you like and who you don't like based on, well, what you perceive as their values of who they voted for. That's stupid. I'm sorry, but get the hell over it. If someone voted red or someone voted blue, that's going to determine who you can be friends with because you're assuming what their knowledge base level is and what they are accountable for and what they are obtainable for and the things that they hold dearest. Like, really? That right there is social conditioning and you are being brainwashed. Wake the hell up. Personally, this is my opinion, and I could give two shits if you agree or you disagree. I care how you treat me, and I care how you treat other people. If I assume that you treat other people based on your political affiliation, which is just the dumbest way to measure anything, then I'm going to have to ask you some clarifying questions. And then we have this very wonderful talk, and I realize that you don't stand for a lot of the values that I perceived that you stood for. Does that mean we can still be friends? Please tell me. My goodness. Like, we're going around and we're spewing hate. Why? We're going around and we're spewing divide. Why? We're going around and we're separating each other and we're saying us versus them of two imaginary categories when, I'm sorry, but I'm more of a face value guy. Like, what are you portraying to me right now in this moment? I'm pretty sure if you like, let's take William for a moment and you take him to the side and you just go based on some of like just bullet point conversations that we've had. You can make your assumptions and your judgments, but then you actually start talking to William and then you realize, well, those bullet points didn't say shit because he's his own little person. He's his fantastic soul. There's things, William, I agree with you. And there's some things I absolutely disagree. But guess what? It's not worth the time. And we get along quite well. And I never spend more time on saying, well, I disagree with you on that. I ask you verifying questions. And a lot of the times when I ask you verifying questions, I actually realize that, well, what you said isn't exactly what I first perceived it to be. And that is how I perceived it, not how you meant it. How you meant it is a perception, right? And then you have the perspective of two individuals that are meeting for a conversation. And take that, triple it, take it to the bank, and divide it before the dividends of the entire world and watch peace happen. But do we have that? No. Why? Because we're bored. We like the drama. We like the drama, we like the chaos, because we're bored. We are a very spoiled nation that we have enjoyed some really good times. And what is that saying? Good times create, good times create weak men create tough times create strong men, strong men create good times, and good times create weak men. Rinse, wash, and repeat. What cycle are we at now? And then we have, like, don't even get me started whenever it comes to, like, how we weaponize people against you. Wake up! Don't be a jerk. It is that simple. It is that simple if you will allow it to be that simple. Life is so much better when you stop harping on the things that everyone's done wrong. Do you want people to open your skeletons? Do you want people to open your closet door and say, you open my closet door and you're not going to like me very much? And I'd much very prefer that you don't open my closet door, because there's things that I've improved on, there's things I've apologized for, and there's things that I'm absolutely, to this day, still working at trying to be a better person. But here's the crazy part. You were under no obligation to be who you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 days ago, or 5 minutes ago. But there will always be consequences based on whom you were. And if the future wants to judge someone based on their past decisions, it's understandable. but how you respond to how other people treat you based on your past experiences and your consequences. How you respond to the criticism is absolutely freaking everything. Give me one thing that you could be pissed off about that you couldn't very much easily fix with some reasonable rationality. But I think that that's actually in our world what we've actually lost. We've lost rationality, consistency, dedication, purposefulness, and love. I mean real love. I mean, could you love me if I was a monster? Well, it depends. If you burned down the city and killed everyone, absolutely, I couldn't love you. Okay, that's conditional. I'm not going to burn down the city and kill everyone. What's your limit when you love someone? What's your limit whenever it comes to how much you can stand of someone, your preferences? Have you felt unconditional love? Have you ever been a monster and someone at the end of the day very gently touches your face and says, but you're my monster? And you haven't made the best decisions, but you're here. It's a good feeling, and I wish that you find it. You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Your decisions that you make aren't going to be perfect. There are some beautiful souls that I have met, and they're not perfect. William, I'm sorry to tell you this, man, but you're not perfect. You're going to make some really bad, stupid decisions. You're human. Forgive yourself. Give yourself some patience and kindness. Give yourself some kindness. That's absolutely for sure. Give yourself some love. Give yourself some gratitude. What are you grateful for? That's what the freaking wall's about. Find some gratitude. What are you thankful for? What makes you happy? I don't know. You know how many times I've done anger management with someone and I say, well, what are you grateful for? Before the wall. I don't know, Jeremiah. I don't know what you want from me. What makes you thankful? I don't know. Why are you asking me those stupid questions? Go back to your whole skit. It was more funnier. Don't ask me that question. What makes you happy? Stop. Not a lot of things make me freaking happy, okay? I'm quite miserable. That's why I'm here. Anger management. Duh. Really? How about grateful that you're alive? Grateful that you woke up. Well, maybe sometimes I wake up and I don't want to wake up. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to throw a PHQ-9 at you. But that's something to observe. You wake up, you don't want to wake up. Who loves you? Who are you thankful that has that's in your life that will love you regardless? If you're a friend or family of mine and I know you, I love you. Be thankful that someone, if anyone, loves you, accepts you. If I didn't like you, I'd tell you I didn't like you. I'm pretty straightforward on that. If I get a little cranky, I'll tell you, leave me the hell alone. Now, if you choose to stay away or keep a distance because I lashed out at a moment, Casey, and you stay away, well, I understand that. Do I want you to stay away? No, not necessarily, but I don't want the games. Felt like there's games. Now have rhetoric and say, Jeremiah, what kind of games did you think? Have an honest conversation. But that would involve sincerity. So my goal for you, my bet for you is, can you introduce sincerity into your life? Take out the seriousness. Can you incorporate sincerity into your life? I don't care if you're the right person, the wrong person, the right decision, the wrong decisions. Are you sincere at everything that you do? Because if you sincerely go through life and you do the best that you can, you will never go wrong. You'll have ups and downs, you'll have consequences, you'll have things that go right, you'll have things that go wrong, but overall, you will not go wrong because you will find yourself pretty satisfied with yourself. things that work out for the better. Sincerely. Don't sincerely spend time with people you don't like. They're energy vampires. Find yourself unhappy. Well, that's not anyone to blame. That's not my fault. My fault, Bob's fault. It's your fault. If you're unhappy, you've actively chose to spend your time and your energy in whatever said thing created all of it. It's a wild conversation if you think about it. Really wild. And it's funny too, because it's like you have this conversation. If you watch this video, then you've just blown plausible deniability. You can ignore it if you like, but ignoring doesn't mean that this conversation didn't happen. If you ignore this conversation, then that's on you. And you can try to be ignorant and to have ignorance is a bliss type of approach to it. Doesn't take it away. You can't unword my words from your ears. Well, I just attended. Well, now you have an active choice to go back and see what started this rant in the first place. Maybe it was something. Maybe it was nothing. And then all you can do at the end of the day is laugh. Smile. You exist. And you find yourself with gratefulness. And then you become thankful because you're grateful. And that makes you pretty happy. All right. Well, William. Calling. Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Watching you and CPR.
Hey, what did you think? Did you actually watch the rant, or are you just like in and out?
I've watched Rant, and I'm also trying
To do CPR.
to do CPR. I'm on child CPR right now.
Well, thank you, Nicholas. I have a question because you're live right now.
Yes.
Is your happiness your decision? Do you choose to be happy?
Well, of course.
So is it safe to say that you also choose to be unhappy?
If you allow others to make you unhappy, yeah, that's your choice.
And where you're at in life, you get to choose.
Yes.
And it's,
Design your own world and live in it.
which is what everyone's doing. They're designing their own world and they're living in it. And some people have designed a world that they're very unhappy with, but that was also their choice.
Correct.
Which is wild, because then you have these very upset, miserable people that they have no one else to blame but themselves.
The insanity.
But then again, you and I, in our own individual lives, have experienced sadness.
Sadness, happiness, sorrow.
Have you ever been sad?
Well, of course.
Have you ever been depressed?
Of course.
Have you ever been angry?
Of course.
And that was your choice.
My choice. Also, let's keep in mind what I do outside of this too. We could go farther.
No, I hold on. I'm on to something here.
Okay.
When you were sad, when you were depressed, when you were angry, was it very apparent that it was your choice to be in that state of being at that time?
I allowed it, yeah.
But did you know? Did you consciously say, I'm choosing to be sad, I'm choosing to be angry?
Nobody chooses to be that way. I just allowed it to be.
But doesn't that contradict what we just both agreed?
Double entendre. Ain't it?
I think it is, but I also what I'm getting at is I think it's around the people that you surround yourself with as well. See,
Correct.
if I'm angry and I have someone around me that is validating my anger, I have more validation towards anger than I do of someone saying, hey, wait a minute, what do you have to be grateful, thankful, happy for?
Exactly.
So that validation from other people. Did you is being angry really a choice if other people are validating it?
Yeah, it can be.
Which there's a comment right now that says, I choose to and I felt bad for it. But here's the crazy part, and this is actually the conundrum that I'm actually dispelling for 1 second. Did you actually choose to be angry if those people around you validated or sad or depressed that or bad that you were justified for feeling that way? But then again, you allowed those people into your life. The same people that validated the anger, the depression, the sadness, and just feeling bad, you allowed them in your life at some point.
Yes, we could take this further if you would like.
Oh, 100%.
I just did this Friday. So, I chose to answer the phone on Friday. I chose to answer the phone the second time. I chose to drive in the middle of the night to go all the way into another town where it was so smoke-filled that I could have easily had a car wreck. I chose to be around other people who were miserable, going through the harshest times. I made those choices. That was mine. Nobody put a gun to my head. All I was asked was to respond.
And you responded.
I chose to be in that position.
But how is it easy? How can someone easily say any of this? And let's take the narrative of feeling bad. When someone feels bad, it is so hard to realize that it's a choice. How does someone snap out of it and realize, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I'm here, and then XYZ, finish the sentence.
You know, most cases, and a few people ever really get to this point where they really want this because they're so drunken, like an addict. They're drunken to their own illusion of wanting the sorrow. But a person who is tired of being at their lowest, like addiction, and walks themselves out is that, here's this big surprise, it's your choice.
Okay, so here's the next comment that was actually a really great. Nicholas is like killing it in the comments. Thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas says, what if I am part of the problem? I got this one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Stop.
Or, in this case, I got one better for you. No, don't be the part of the problem, be part of the solution.
Correct, but how does someone become a solution if they are being part of a problem? You ever see, if you think, imagine for a second that someone spilt oil all over the ground, and you're like, you grab some paper towels and you're trying to clean it up and it's just getting oil everywhere. That is a very good representation that you're part of the problem. And it's to be part of the solution and not the problem. Sometimes you have to take yourself out of the problem and to view it from a third party perspective, from an outward going inward perspective, and go, okay, wait a minute. So what I was doing was not helping and it was not contributing to a happier, more fulfilling life. So what do I need to do to, one, be okay, because you can't help other people if you're not okay? And then two, how can I handle the situation to where I'm not just proverbially taking paper towels to a whole oil mess? Sometimes you have to go find the Dawn soap that gets the oil out of the duckies.
You know, in some cases, you need to find that absorbent that sucks up. Let me, once again, go back to where we were building things. Like you said, Jeremiah, same thing, what you did, from being the problem to being the solution. Okay, so why was I driving in the middle of the night? I was on my way to go run believe it or not, a Red Cross shelter.
Yeah.
Okay, that was all my choices. even though there was a lot of bad choices that you could say could be made, I had to step back and take myself out and so I can help be the solution. Now, when I got back home, I also had to be, because I got asked to go again to another town, several more miles away. I knew I was going to be the problem. So what did I do? I took myself out of the problem, got rest, and got myself mentally and physically right so I could be ready to go the next time.
Which is the most important, but how do you know when to stop? And it's funny because Nicholas actually responded, solve problems and quit connecting them. Absolutely, because when you connect problems, then you make those problems, small problems, much bigger problems. And then whenever you actually stop trying to, correcting them, not connecting them, but still same thing, stop trying to correct the problems and you're like, hey, wait a minute. What's working, what's not working, but don't connect the problems together themselves. It's absolutely but yes, spot on.
In Nicholas's case, so now he's identifying the actual problem. So
Possible.
He's doing the first step correctly. He's identifying it. Now he has to disconnect himself from the problem to find a solution to solve the problem.
You know what's absolutely crazy?
Huh?
I'm pulling it up so I know it, but I'm going to pull it up. When you handle any situation, you can actually take the scientific method and you can actually use it and utilize it to your own life. So the scientific method is step 1, ask a question. You have to ask yourself the question. Step 2, state the hypothesis or what you have identified or what you're thinking, what you're concluding. Conduct an experiment. So in your case, in any type of situation, you can pull yourself out of the life experiment, right? Analyze the results. So if you feel like you're the problem and you're like, am I the problem? And then you're like, I think I might be the problem. You can conduct an experiment and pull yourself out just briefly and see if there's results to them and then make a conclusion. Okay, wait a minute, those problems still persist even though I wasn't there. It's like, okay, go back to step 1 and then step 2, step 3. And then that's actually how you can correct your whole life. But it's funny because we've thrown science out the freaking window for whatever freaking reason. And we're like, well, I'm just going based on how I feel. It's like, you do need to know how you feel, right? Because like you were saying, you were not in the right mindset at the time. So you're like, well, I need to take care of me before I go on and I become the problem even farther. So you got yourself rest so you're ready for the next, right? You conducted an experiment, William. And
he stole my thunder tonight. My goodness. But because I was going to use that same thing. That's one of my favorites. A lot of people talk about the science, but nobody wants to apply it.
Apply the freaking science. It's ask a question, state a hypothesis, conduct an experiment, analyze the results, and make a conclusion. Does that help, Nicholas? If you're still watching, Nicholas, I don't... See, there's nothing about Terrific Tuesday. It's like, this isn't like any therapeutic advice, doctorate advice, any of those type of questions or concerns. That's where you really want to like take the same thing we're saying, the scientific method, and you start asking and start doing your own research. But it's funny because William was actually spot on whenever he said this is like, it's like a mental health support. I can't and I won't legally say mental health support, but it's like-minded people that kind of take the same problems, but also you can conduct different cool hypotheses of, like I said, the camera angles and conversations, and the conversations kind of go everywhere anyways. But what I'm getting at is that all this in a cup of jazz.
Actually, I will tell you what your channel actually is, and a lot of people don't realize this.
What would you say my channel is?
Your channel is a melting pot.
I like that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
It is a melting pot because you have
Melting pot.
you who does anger management.
Yes.
And CPR. You have another
Health and
gentleman
wellness.
who is a life coach that works with.
Not life coach. Nope. Health and wellness coach.
Health wellness.
Health. There is a difference. There is a difference. I am not a life coach.
Potato. But anyways, health wellness coach and working on CPR certification and works within the Red Cross. And that's just the beginning. There is what was it? Your cousin had a couple of different unique backgrounds that's been a part of the channel. I know others that have a range of qualifications within what we do inside Terrific Tuesday. So I have to say, sir, your channel is a melting pot.
A melting pot of random
together every Tuesday.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because it's like you never get the same thing.
No, never.
But hey, thank you, William. You are wonderful. I'm letting you go, but thank you for being you. You are a fantastic soul.
All right, I will continue watching and working on my lessons.
All right, stay wonderful. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. Nicholas, I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, I hope that kind of somewhat is whatever might not help. Part of the problem, solve problems and quit correcting them. Be you. The best person that you could ever be is to be you. And that's the crazy part, is you can't be anyone else but you. And a lot of the times we walk around and we're trying to be other people that is not us. And what's us is that person that when no one's around, you look into the mirror and you go, I know you. I know you. You sly dog. You rascal. I hope nobody else sees you. I don't know. It's like, because you're me and I'm you. It doesn't get more simpler than that. Life is this beautiful, gorgeous adventure, if you choose. And it's also a miserable, daunting, ordeal, if you choose. You get to choose. Anything in your life, you get to choose. I'm not trying to have a man bun, but at one point I did have, for a day before I cut my hair, I had this, I was able to have a ponytail, and I thought it was funny. I need to get a haircut at some point. Every time I go to get a haircut, I get talked out of cutting my hair short. Watch this one. Electrifying. Electrifying, but I'm not dying. Totally, dude. All right, man. Thank you for watching the Terrific Tuesday show. My name's Jeremiah, and I'm happy that you were able to watch it. Thank you for being you. You're wonderful. So, all right. That's the end of the Terrific Tuesday. I hope that you have a superly, duperly, awesomely, amazingly, fabulously, superly great, phenomenally spectacular week, and I hope to see you next Tuesday. All right. Bye. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that your Monday didn't suck. And now it's Terrific Tuesday. So all I've got to say is what? Oh, Nicholas says a good experiment is to start listening to people. We should understand no one is the same. We are all our differences. Nicholas, I think you are onto something brilliant. Wise words. I think you're onto something. But nobody knows. All right, it's 9 o'clock, so that's the end of Terrific Tuesday. Stay wonderful. Stay you. You're fantastic. Yeah, there's no one else like you. You are a fantastic soul. And thank you for being you. All right, bye.